What's up, Rusty Grit family? We're back with another video. I'm so happy to see y'all, and I hope everybody's having the best day ever. Hopefully y'all are staying nice and warm, because my goodness, it's been a battle up here. It's just been so daggone windy and wet with a little bit of cold. That's a bad combo. You know, unfortunately I haven't been feeling the best this week. Been a little under the weather, and so we're probably going to take it easy. You know, with that being said, I still wanted to get a little something done, so I'll probably go put some chicken wire around our apple trees. I've been meaning to do that. Put in a fence post if I can muster up some energy. And I was going to give you a tour of my great-grandmother's house. That's the brick house that's right near the 1895 house. You know, a couple generations lived most of their life in this house, if not their entire life. And my great-grandma was the first one to go and branch out, but she didn't go too far. She built a little brick house in the 60s. I'm always excited to show y'all new things up here. I figured it was a fitting day since I don't feel the best. So I'm gonna give y'all that little tour, and we're just gonna make the most out of the day. I'm super thankful y'all are here, and thanks for tagging along. We're in the upstairs room right now. I just love coming up here. Little backstory, this was my great-grandma's room growing up when she was a little girl. You know, if you're new to the videos, you definitely haven't seen in here. There's just so much family heritage in here. I do plan on restoring this bed someday. Right next to the bed's one of my grandma's old canes. And the list goes on. Look at the old school engravings in the fireplace. May 12th, 1932. We got a couple initials over there. Sorry for the lighting, it's a little tough in here. Even their old school dressers are in here with their record player. You know, it's pretty hard not to always be on the go, go, go up here. So it's always nice just to take a step back and just enjoy it. And you know I love to always start off with the old family photo finds. This is my great-great-grandmother. She lived in this house her entire life, which I've always thought was really cool. I never got the pleasure to speak with her, but I bet you she was all about family tradition herself. I have always heard stories that she worked her butt off in this house. That's partially why the wood floors are still so good. Heard stories she'd get down on her hands and knees and just polish them with linseed oil all the time. And this is a picture of her grandson, who's my great-uncle. And it's my great-grandma holding him. My grandpa and my great-uncle had quite the age difference. My great-grandma had him a good bit later on in life. Now this is an old photo. Look at the outfit she has on. How cool. And I'm not quite sure where she's at or what she's doing, to be honest. That looks like a squirrel in a cage. I don't know if she's at some kind of zoo, or maybe they had just pet squirrels outside. I don't know, but I thought it was a cool photo. It's definitely old. I got a kick out of this one. You know, most old school pictures, they look stoic. And you can tell that she's kind of happy in this, just kind of smiling. I'm not sure who this is. There's no names on the back, but she's got her dress on. It looks like it's sunny outside. She's just enjoying the day like we are today. And this is a photo of my great-grandpa. He was in the Air Force. He's in his uniform, just posing with a couple buddies. Unfortunately, there's no names on the back of this one. You can tell they're by the railroad tracks in the mountains, though, that's for sure. And they look happy. That's why I threw it in here. It has to be somebody close to my family, because that little girl looks like my great-grandma's little girl. There's definitely a family resemblance. And last but not least, I thought this one was pretty dang neat. It's a little different than the others. I mean, it's definitely old school, but it's a postcard. I guess it's just like a family postcard. They sent out a slew of them, you know, for maybe invites to things or for the holidays. But yeah, they definitely got all dressed up looking nice. Another beautiful day in the mountains. Just know I'm trying my best. It's so daggone windy out here, it's hard to record. But I thought this was super cool. Mama Grit got it for me. It checks the moisture in your wood. If you see my previous videos, I've been working on some slabs. I'm gonna get this filled up and get it all dried out. We're running at about 28. They're all about the same. Yeah, we'll definitely need to get those bad boys dried out a little bit more. Luckily, hardwood doesn't hold as much moisture as softwood. But yeah, I thought this little reader was cool. If you ever see me using it on a new board or checking wood, you'll know what I'm doing. So that's what the house is looking like after that first little bottom pressure washing session. I think it looks dang good, and I'm excited to seal it up. We definitely want to keep this wood as pristine as we can. I agree with most of the comments. I think it needs a nice clear coat. This is pretty good stuff. It's about $50 a gallon. So, and a while back, a subscriber got me a nice little hand pump spray. So shout out to them. And we're just going to coat this bad girl the best we can. Or to be honest, I'm a little frustrated. I spent the last 45 minutes trying to get this pump to work. What really gets me is I had a 1 gallon one that worked perfectly at the house. I just thought I'd bust out this new one. And if you don't know, I live about 45 minutes away. So it'd be an hour and a half round trip. We're already losing daylight. So we'll have to do it next time we're up here. You know, everything happens for a reason though. So right across from the 1895 house is my great-grandmother's house. and that was built in 1960. So this is my great-grandmother's house, and like I said, it was built in 1960. You can see it's pretty daggone close to the old 1895 house. I would say this bad girl definitely has good bones, that's for sure. If you ever wonder where I put the UTV, this is where it's at. Holy smokes, we just missed that. I told you it was windy out. A big old branch just fell from up there. Oh my gosh. Imagine getting dunked in the head with this. That would not be good. We actually had a pipe bust right here. Brought that tractor up to do all that bush hogging, and it wasn't deep enough. So that's a little work in progress. My great-grandpa definitely liked to store and pile up a lot of stuff, so those two old buildings were just absolutely full of stuff. Come on in, join me. Alright, as soon as you walk in, here's an old wood stove. That's what they use for heat in here. And that's actually a new pipe. That got replaced this year. So I can use that for heat now. I don't know if you've seen this on the wood stove, but this is Mr. Sneaky's sheddings. We haven't seen much of him because it's wintertime, but we have about a 7-foot black snake up here. And he likes to let me know he's here, and he leaves this around everywhere. So I just kind of put it in the pile. I think it's pretty cool. And this is it. This is the kitchen. There's no good hardwood floors like there is at the old house. These are plywood. And they definitely need to be fixed up. Believe it or not, so much work has been done in this house already. Mama Grit and my family have just really cleaned this out. There's definitely been a many trips to the scrap yard and just hundreds of man hours in here. Just going through things and cleaning it up. This was piled up just like the old house was if you've tuned into the old videos I've made. This is the living room. It's really turned into a storage area. But it's super nice to be able to get stuff out of the weather, be able to lock stuff up in here. Little ceiling work definitely needs to be done up in there. I've seen so many comments asking for a little tour of this place, so I'm happy to show y'all. This is the hallway leading into the rooms. And the first room on the left is my great-grandma's room. Like I said, this is a night and day difference on how it did look. I wish you could have seen it trashed, as bad as it sounds, just so you have an idea of the amount of work that's gone into it. This closet right here is where I found the picture of my 4x grandparents. Right there. Kind of propped it up in the closet so it has its own little room. Now how cool is this? It's from the 1800s. And it was really cool to learn about how they did these kind of photos. How they used sunlight and an artist went behind and kind of touched it up with a little bit of charcoal. This is 1000% going to be hanging up in the old house. It just needs to get sealed up a little bit more. This is such a precious item. I don't want nothing to happen to it. Right across the hallway is the bathroom, and it's in pretty bad shape. We'll see how far we can go into it. Kind of got all this going on right now, trying to keep animals out, because we know in the winter they'll find every little nook and cranny to crawl up through. And there's some good sized holes right there. And this is where the tub was we got rid of. There's lots of work to do. And this house has water and power. Technically, we've been having to jump through hoops trying to get the power on and getting new poles up and all kinds of stuff. So it's a process, but it'll be so nice when this house just has running power and water. They did kind of the old school thing when the man and the wife had separate rooms. That's why this one's blue. I always thought that was kind of weird, but you know, to each his own. I've took little tours of like old historical houses, and that's usually how it was. The man had a separate room than the wife. It was not like that. It was some nasty carpet. Little tool stash I keep over here. Look at that. You can see a pretty view of the old house right there. I've never noticed that. And last but not least, this is the back room. And you can kind of get an idea of what it looked like before we started really cleaning it up. Like I said, a lot of time was put into this before I started making videos. I swear this pile of stuff was higher than that window. That is crazy. This was my great uncle's room growing up. My goodness, it needs some work. You can tell it still has that nasty carpet in it. That's how it was all throughout the house. So this is actually the stairwell, but this door has been nailed shut. And you'll see why. There's no garage door on the door downstairs. So just figured this was the best way to kind of keep this enclosed and locked up. Plus you'll see these stairs are no good. Nobody needs to be walking on them anyways. It's a hazard. And this is the back part leading downstairs. And that's the missing garage door I was telling you about. A little sneak peek in these little buildings real fast. I really feel like this one can be repurposed. That one, not so much. You give me your opinion in the comments, what you think. There's some good boards up there still. Definitely some need to be replaced, but that plywood for sure. This would be a nice little storage area. You can tell they used to have chickens up here. Just absolutely full of stuff. He was a handyman, so. I think this is squirrel heaven, because every single time I open it, I swear, something runs around and there's just tons of squirrel nuts in here. And some squirrels can get aggressive, you know. I know squirrel sounds dainty, but they can go hard. You can see the fresh walnuts they've brought in. But yeah, probably end up knocking this down and using some boards from it for something else. He definitely had a little bit of everything, that's for sure. It'd be awesome in here just working. It's pretty spacious back here, having to shine the light, but it was pretty far back. Had him a little workbench with a vice grip. After you spend a couple hours hard working in here, you just open up the door, some fresh mountain air. Also, my great grandma was huge on canning things. There's no telling how old those are. Let's step in here. Now, most of this has been untouched, so you can get an idea of how it was when we first walked in here. Whoa! I saw a big old squirrel right there. There's so many squirrels in here, man. I just don't want them to hop down on my head and freak out. You get the idea. This bad girl needs a lot of love. There's a squirrel literally right above me. He's on that tile up there. This is your spot for now, buddy. Go ahead and stay warm. Man, look at those old magazines and books. They are toast. Yeah, this is untouched, that's for sure. Messy. Potential, but messy. A little closet here. And there's the stairs I was talking about. They really don't look that bad from underneath, but I promise nobody has any business walking on these right now. And this is the last little room back here. This is where the power box and what is that, like an old school water heater? Holy smokes, that looks old. Yeah, I think for sure that's what that is. That's the kind of stuff I was talking about, how they're in bad shape. Really, once you make it past there though, not too bad. It's better. How's the first time I've ever showed y'all my great grandma's house? Let me know what you think of it in the comments. I know it has tons of potential. Obviously the 130-year-old house needed my attention a little bit more, so that's why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. I know it's not as old and historic as the 130-year-old house, but it's still pretty dang cool to have your great grandmother's house. Let's go check out how the apple trees are doing. Forgot the UTV key, so we're walking. Whew. We made it. So I lost my old hound dog this year. You know, it's a part of life. He was such a good boy. But to remember him by, I put 2 apple trees right next to his grave. I know the deers and animals just love to eat the leaves off of these things, especially when they're small. I've been meaning to do this. We're gonna put a little barrier around them. I got my handy dandy little metal shear cutter. I just love this attachment. It's gonna be perfect to help with this chicken wire. It's kind of hard to see with all these leaves. Maybe if I got next to it, you get a better idea. But we got a little barrier on it. Hopefully that prevents an animal or two from coming here and gnawing on it. And I left a little room for it to grow. A couple of golden delicious. That'd be awesome when they're blooming some fruit. Good seeing you, Bubba's. I'll come talk to you next time. Whew, if y'all could feel my ears right now. Well, I'm still feeling decent. Let's go get a fence post in. You know, on my good days and my bad days, we still try to get a little stuff done, or else it's never gonna get done. And there's another one. That one was kind of tough with that big old tree right there. We kept hitting some roots, but we got it down. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on this line till it meets the creek. I thought this was really cool. I gotta staple my plastic back up. All this wind's knocked it down a little bit. It's getting dark, so I put my light up on the inside. It makes it look like the house has a little bit of power in it. I want to do one last thing before I leave. I was gonna hang this up. Look how cool this is. There we go, the lighting's a little better right there. It says Rustic Grit Farm, established 2025. Mama Grit got me this. I just absolutely love it, how cool. Thought it'd look really good on the door right here. So every single time I go up and down the stairs, it's gonna make me smile. Oh yeah, that's a winner right there. Thank you, Mama Grit. For something so small, it means so much. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you like, you subscribe, you share it around. It really helps the dream. And just thank you so much for being here. The Rustic Grit family means the absolute world to me. I couldn't do this without y'all. I feel like I've grown so much as a person this last year, and this house has changed so much, and it's just the beginning of this journey. There is so much more to come. I got big plans for next year. I'm super excited. I'd like to give a quick shout out to those that have blessed me on my Amazon wish list. We have Hazel with the DeWalt drill bit set. And let's welcome the supporter members to the channel. We have Hecker and Anita rejoined. Y'all support definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and I'm incredibly grateful for every single one of you. You know, whether I'm healthy as a horse or I'm sick, I feel like I can do anything with the Rustic Grit family in my corner. Y'all truly fire me up and fuel me more than you ever know. I also want to give one more shout out to a very close family friend of mine. It's the man who let me borrow the pressure washer. He watches these videos. He reads y'all's comments. He gets a kick out of them. He likes to learn like I do. He'll come to me and say, look what this person said, or look what this person said, trying to learn off of y'all. And unfortunately, he had a heart attack the other day, and he had open heart surgery today. So I know he's going to see this video. If y'all could just lift him up. His name is Gene, and I hope you get better soon, Gene. You got this, man. You know, we're all a family here, and it would just mean so much to me if y'all could do that. So flood the comments letting Gene know that you're wishing him well. A little bit of positivity goes a long ways in some challenging times. And I'm thinking about you when I'm up here, Gene. Next time I come up here, I'm going to bring a new hand pump, and I'm going to get that wood sealer on this wood. And all this nasty weather, hopefully we can get back to cutting some more slabs. But that about does it for this trip. We had a couple bumps in the road. I'm not feeling the best, but hey, we were consistent. We showed up and we made it happen. With that being said, I hope everybody has a blessed rest of the day. I'll be thinking about you. Till next time.